Okay, so this is the Phet simulator screen. Now, once you've decided which simulator you want to use, you need to decide how you want to use it. So you can choose to either download, to embed, or to run now. I'm going to go ahead and run now directly from their website. So it'll prompt you to download the program in Java. You click OK, and it goes ahead and it loads your simulator. So let me shrink this just a tad so I can fit everything on the screen. There we go. So what we have here is we have three different tabs in this. So we have a tug of war, we have motion, which is like a skateboard program, you have friction. So we can now add static friction, kinetic friction, so we can take a look at those things. So we'll take a look at the tug of war tab first. So we've got these little boxes here that indicate different kind of parameters. We have the sum of forces, and we have values, and of course there's sound, a couple other little things going on there. So if we go ahead and we take two characters and we put them up on our rope, we just click and drag them up and drop them in place. That'll put 150 newtons of force to the left. We put another guy here on the right, it puts 150 newtons of force to the right, which gives us a sum of forces equaling 0. So if we click go, both of my characters are going to pull with all of their might, and they're at a stalemate. They're not moving. So we have to tip the tide a little bit. We go ahead and we put a small character in there, which adds another 50 newtons of force. So we now have 200 newtons of force pulling to the right, 150 newtons pulling to the left, and we end up with red winning. So then let's go ahead and take a look at the motion portion of this simulator. So with the motion portion, again, we have our parameters. We can set our values. We can see our masses, and I like to put the speedometer up there just to see how we're going. So let's choose, we have this 40 kilogram girl. We're going to go ahead and drop her on the skateboard. And we use our character, and we're going to push to the right. We're going to give her about 70 newtons or 71 newtons of force. And let go, and she will sail along for a pretty good distance. So you have to sort of approximate where you're at on your speedometer. No numbers are really indicated. Okay, so for the friction, we still have the same characters as we did for the motion portion, but we do not have the skateboard. So let's go ahead and drag the box out here. And then our parameters here, we still have our sum of forces, we have our values, we have our masses indicated, we have our speedometer, but now we have this friction bar. So we can drag this, which will adjust your coefficient of friction. We're going to just leave that alone for now. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to apply some force to our box. So as we start to apply our forces, we can see that we have 114 newtons pushing against the box, 114 newtons pushing back against the person. So at this point we've not overcome the static friction. So we still have a sum force of 0. So as we increase our force vectors, we start to get some force moving to the right. So this will go ahead and it'll push and we'll get moving pretty good. If we stop pushing, you can see immediately you have friction pushing back at 125 newtons, bringing our box to a stop. So this is the gist of the Forces in Motion basic simulator. There are several other simulators in here, so feel free to come to this site and play with some of these.